Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk, and today we're going to be talking about OLED TVs, specifically the LGs.
So me and Matt both actually just bought 48-inch LG C1s for both of our home offices because as we run this YouTube channel, we wanted to give you guys the best quality that we could possibly afford to give you, like, you know, for our reviews. So Matt's playing, for his game reviews, he's playing on that LG C1. When I'm watching movies, I'm watching them on the LG C1. And to give you an example, you saw our Deep Water review. I watched half that movie from Hulu Stream on the LG C1 and half on my living room TV, which is a 75-inch Sony 950H, and I can tell you, flat out, it looked 10 times better on that LG C1.
And now back to your Sony. I remember you ranting and raving and hooting and hollering that this is the best TV for watching movies, the colors are amazing, Sony, Sony, Sony. I like Sony, I really do. I had a Sony, but when the PlayStation 5 and the Series X came out, I upgraded. What did we have? The XB850s or something?
Yeah, we had the X8850 series from 2018, I want to say we got them.
We had the 75-inch Sony TVs, and that was actually our first 4K TVs.
Yeah.
So when the new consoles came out, I got the LG CX, or the C10 OLED TV, and I have the 77-inch down in my man cave, and that has the 120 Hz refresh rate with 4 HDMI slots that support 120, which no other TV does. They all, if they even have 120, they got 1, maybe 2 slots. So LG already has the better component hookups, in my opinion, because you have at least 2 120 consoles plus the PC if you hook that up. So, you know, right there, I think that's a win. But with my CX, I still to this day I watch all my movies on that, and I love my CX. I actually wouldn't say I prefer the C1 or the CX over one another. I just like the menu system on my CX better than the C1. But the picture is just so beautiful on an OLED. Like when people come over and they're like, oh, that's a nice TV, I was like, hold on. I put it in store mode and it shows you the display when you walk into Best Buy, and it's just and people are like, wow, that looks amazing. I'm like, yeah, it really does. But the deep blacks, the inky dark blacks, it's just, you cannot beat an OLED. I mean, a lot of people say you got burn-in and stuff like that, like the old plasmas. This is 2022. They have so many safeties, and even the consoles itself have safeties. Like on my Xbox, for instance, that's what I do all my streaming and most of my gaming on. So if you're away from the controller for more than 2 minutes, it already dims the screen, it puts up a screensaver, and then the TV itself has a line that goes back and forth. Like it gets dim and then it's dark, dim, dark, dark, light. It just kind of just moves the pixels around, because that's what causes burn-in, is from something sitting on the screen for too long. So the consoles and the TV have all built-in features to prevent all that. So it's really, really hard to get burn-in in 2022.
And like Matt said, I had the Sony 950H, which is an LED TV, not OLED. So he went the OLED route, I went the LED route, and the reason was for burn-in, and because in my research they said movies were better on the 950H. And Matt plays more video games than me, and I watch more movies than him, so I went with that. And this 950H has the best color, bar none. I still think it's great. I think it has some of the best upscaling. Like, I watched The Wire on it, and that's just streaming in 1080p, and it was gorgeous. This is a show from the early 2000s that got remastered for HBO, and I was blown away by just how much the upscaling was on it. But watching movies, and with the black bars, if you guys know what blooming is, that is because LEDs are backlit. So the lighting on it behind it, if like, say there's like a bright light, I noticed this in Titanic really bad. In the right hand corner, if the light's like, so the black bars will start to show, it'll look white instead of black, or gray, and that can be frustrating. And I didn't know that I was missing out on deep blacks until I got this LG C1. Like, I changed my whole perspective. And I don't like to tell Matt I'm wrong, because then I gotta hear his mouth, but I was wrong. So I really can't like, you know, stress enough that OLED is the better option for sure, just because of the color range that you're gonna get.
Now, Sony, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Sony uses an LG panel in their OLEDs.
Yeah.
They just use their own software system.
Yeah, they run their software system over LG's technology. If you'll notice, like, Samsung doesn't have OLED, they have QLED, which is their technology.
Although I did just see something today that there is a listing somewhere, and Samsung is putting out an OLED very soon. It was just leaked today. Yeah. I saw that article.
Because we have friends who will just not stray off the Samsung path.
Samsung used to be top dog. Up until we got those Sony TV, our first 4Ks, I was a Samsung guy through and through. I thought they were the best, and they were for a very long time. And now, looking at a Samsung, I actually have a Samsung in my bedroom, and I don't even like to watch TV in there just because it's, you know, the OLED ruined everything for me. The OLED is just such a beautiful picture. Anything else feels like a downgrade.
Yeah, I'm very nearsighted, so for me to have like a 48-inch TV that I could sit right in front of, for me personally, that's 10 times better than a 75-inch, just because I'm always going to sit close to a TV anyway. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely the way to go if you have vision problems. I can guarantee you that. But as far as like the actual modes and stuff in the actual TV, the game optimizer is pretty crazy on the LG C1.
Yeah, so the LG, they really have gamers in mind. Again, back to the 120 hertz refresh rate. They're one of the first TVs to do that. They have the VRR, which is the variable refresh rate. It lets the console pretty much do what it needs to do on the screen. It's got the Dolby Vision for gaming. It's just a perfect screen for everything. If you got the next-gen consoles, you can watch your 4K discs in there, your 4K streams, and you're not going to get a better picture than on an OLED.
And how many HDMI 2.1 ports do these TVs have? They both will just only have one, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
LGs?
Yeah.
4. All 4 HDMI slots are 2.1.
Oh, they're all 2.1s? Yes. So that's a big thing that I don't know if people have been talking about lately, but the two new consoles support HDMI 2.1 ports, which means they can run at 4K 120 and
48 gigabytes per second HDMI cables.
Yes, and my 950H, like I said, and I bought this with that, not taking seriously the HDMI 2.1 port, so my TV can run 1080p at 120 hertz or 4K 60. So, but you know, with the LG C1 now, I can actually experience 4K 120.
Yeah, you can actually turn up that Xbox you got.
Yeah, so it's really incredible. I'm really enjoying my experience with this TV. Now I don't want to watch movies with my wife anymore because I want to go sit in my office and watch my LG C1.
So that's another thing I want to touch on. So I have the CX as my movie TV, which is on the wall. That's the 77-inch. That's hooked up with my Sonos system. And over on my, I like to call it the command center, my L-shaped desk, I have the LG C1 as a third monitor on my PC/Xbox Series X setup over there. And I mean, watching both screens, I don't see a huge difference in picture quality. You know, I mean, they're different, and I'm sitting much closer to that one versus the CX. But I actually think I prefer the CX menu system, at least, over the C1. They kind of simplified stuff on the C1, but made it harder in the same way. Like, you have to kind of go through Game Optimizer to get to all of the picture settings sometimes, but sometimes you don't. It's really weird. The CX has a huge list on the left with all the options, and you can adjust everything, no problem. And then the C1, I found they just revamped the whole thing, and I prefer the CX over the C1 as far as the menu goes. But as far as picture goes, if you got a CX, I don't think you need to upgrade to the C1 or even the new C2 coming out. But if you're looking for a new TV, I think the C1, would we just pay $1,000 for the C1s?
Yeah, that's why we both jumped on that, because the C2s are coming out, and they're, you know, they dropped the price on the C1s.
Yeah, they're on sale. Well, this is the 48-inch model. I think $1,000 is great for that what you're getting, because it's an amazing screen. It's still a 48-inch. Still a little upset that now the C2 is launching with a 42-inch model. I would have liked the 42-inch on my over at my desk. I think the 48 is still a little too big. So I actually, from Amazon, I got a TV cart on wheels, so it kind of looks like we're back in high school. But it's much nicer than those, and they did not have LG C1s in high school. I'll tell you that. We had the old CRTs with the strap down to the top.
I wouldn't even say a CRT, whatever the hell those freaking...
No, they were CRTs.
They were terrible, whatever my high school had.
Yeah, CRT TVs with the ratchet strap over the top down to the cart, then the VCR.
They rolled those freaking things out.
Oh, that was... You see the TV coming out, it's like, yes!
Yeah.
And I remember...
It's gonna be a good day.
Quick story, wood shop. We had a substitute, and they didn't want us playing with the fucking bandsaws and all that stuff. So... I let my friend borrow my Star Wars cassette, VHS, Return of the Jedi, and he gave it back to me. So I had it in my backpack that we had a substitute in woodshop. So I was like, hey, can we watch this? He's like, yeah, go ahead. So we were watching Star Wars in school, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I got the cart for mine so I can push it back, because it's on wheels, so I can kind of push it back if I'm finding it's too close to me. So that it works for my setup, but it may not for everybody. Yeah,
like mine is just on my desk. I got my monitor for my computer, my Xbox, and then my TV on the other side. I sit really close no matter what, so I never feel like I have to back up just because of my vision problems. But that is one thing that is awesome. I love that. I can't get enough of watching this TV. And actually, one thing that you just noted and I just noticed, I bought my parents an LG, like a low end to mid level. LG TV for them for Christmas 2 years ago. And when I got this C1, I got the exact same remote that they got for that TV, and that's a little disappointing because the remote does feel a little cheap.
Well, actually, the C1 and the CX remote are different.
Are they?
Yeah. But I was messing, because my command center is not far from my TV, so I was messing with settings on that TV, and I ended up turning on my CX with it, so the remotes seem to be interchangeable, which was a problem on the first day, but I figured it out, so it hasn't gave me an issue yet, but I guess they never thought of that anybody would have two LGs in the same room.
Yeah, it's not an issue that comes up all the time. But yeah, that was just the one little negative I noticed. I was like, I was kind of expecting more of a premium remote for a TV like that. But I do like that it has like that kind of like the cursor pops up as you move the remote.
I hate that.
Really? I like that. I actually did enjoy that.
I don't like that. It's like playing Nintendo Wii. No, I like the buttons.
It actually feels a little more accurate than a Nintendo Wii, which is crazy.
Yeah, maybe.
But other than that, I can't say a bad thing about this TV. If you could still find it whenever you're watching this video and it's on sale and you're on the fence, should I wait for the C2 or should I get the C1 on sale? I think I can clearly 100% say, get the C1. Don't go for a regular LED panel like I did. I think you'll regret it. So just try and go out and get an OLED.
I want to touch on sound. Now,
oh yes, we didn't talk about this.
You can pass through to any of your sound bars or entertainment systems, you know, your receivers or whatever, your Sonos, whatever you got. But the TV itself, you can enable Dolby Atmos. Now I know it's not really Atmos, and it is a TV speaker, and trust me, someone who has the Sonos set up, and I would never in a million years want to listen to the speakers on the TV. However, it being on my desk, and it doesn't really make sense to hook up a sound system to it, and a lot of the time, because it's to my right of me while I'm on my PC, so a lot of the times I just have like a movie or something on while I'm working on the computer, or if I'm playing a game on it, I can have my SteelSeries on, or I can hook it up to the little Sound Slayer soundbar I got for my PC if I really absolutely had to. But the speakers in the TV really aren't that bad. I was very surprised with it, and even John said they don't sound bad. And the bass that it comes with, it has this really nice brushed aluminum piece that sits on the bottom, and the sound bounces off that. They did some sort of witchcraft where it actually sounds pretty good.
And they show you in the settings, like there is a setting that they first ask you to turn on, I forget what it's called, but when you turn it on, you'll notice that it does seem like it's shooting the surround sound around you. And this is coming from TV speakers. And I was shocked because I called Matt right after. I was like, are you hearing this? And they explained to me about the stand, which does feel like a very premium stand and leaves a low-level footprint on your desk, but it's like big and heavy. And
low level, it's huge.
Yeah, and it feels, well, like low level in the sense, like, you know, like, I really hate those, when the TVs give you those long legs, because I feel like you can never get them perfect. When you get a stand like this that just sits perfectly.
It's in the center.
Yeah, it's centered and, like, heavy, weighty, and it feels premium. They didn't spare any expense on this. You know, it's like they were running Jurassic Park. It's just great. I love what they did with the stand. Truly loved it. Truly love what they did with the sound. Like, man, I'm not going to put surround sound in my little office for that. I'll either put headphones on or just use the TV speakers. You know, I got the living room for that.
Yeah, when I watch all my movies for review or just for fun, most of the stuff that's got a good Atmos track and mainly action movies I'll watch on the big screen. But comedies that you don't really need surround sound and stuff for, I won't mind watching out of the speaker TV.
Yeah.
TV speaker.
You know, I'm not going to throw on a brand new movie with a supposedly killer Atmos track on that TV. I'm walking to the living room and putting it on with my, you know, surround sound, because that's just how it's got to be, you know, fully delivered to me.
But just to wrap it up, an LG OLED is top of the line. I mean, a lot of people can argue that the Sony is better. If you're not a gamer, maybe the Sony could be better for you. But if you play games at all, you cannot go wrong with the LG. Because it's definitely superior in the gaming aspect, and I can't really see the Sony being much better or better at all, just picture quality, because it's the same panel. You know, it's just which menu do you prefer? So that's really, I guess, a preference at that point. And so, do you need a C1 or do you need to wait for the C2? I think you should probably catch a good deal on a C1 because you're not going to get a huge jump in picture quality. Maybe they'll add a couple different features that they might be able to patch into the C1 with a software update down the road. But there's been some comparisons, like HDTV Test. He does amazing work. And he even said the C1, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. If you want to wait for the C2, more power to you. You're going to get a great TV. But the C1 is still a great TV. The CX, still a great TV. I don't plan on... I think I might wait for the C4s just because that's a cool name, and I got a C4 TV, so that'll probably, when I upgrade my CX, is when the 14, because that's how they number. The X is a 10, C1's an 11, 12. So I'll wait for the 14, because that'll be the C4. That'll probably when I upgrade my CX. But if you want to wait for the C2, go for it. If not, pick up the C1, find a great deal on it. You're not going to go wrong. The sound from the TV speakers, in a big room, definitely get a surround sound. But if you're going to get the little 48-inch like we did for your home office or your PC setup or just a gaming setup where you're going to be right in front of it, it's probably fine with the speakers or throw your headset on.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's our review, and if you should get an OLED TV or not in 2022. And guys, if you liked our video right here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and this week's digital code giveaway is a big one because we're giving away 3 movies. We're giving away The Godfather Part 2, and The Godfather Part 3 Coded Edition, The Death of Michael Corleone, not the standard edition that is not included in this digital code. And this is actually all the remastered editions that just came out in the Godfather 50th Anniversary 4K trilogy. So these are actually those new scans in a digital version. Obviously we support physical more, but hey, we're giving away these digital codes to you guys so they add to your digital collection. We have all 3 of these movies and we're just giving away to you. And obviously, in honor of The Godfather, we have to ask a Godfather question. And it's a simple one. Have you seen The Godfather? You can just answer yes or no. Or, the second question, what is your favorite Godfather movie? And all you have to do is answer one of those 2 questions in the comment section below, and you're automatically entered into our digital code giveaway. We like to have these comments in the comment section so we can talk to you guys about movies. That's one of our favorite things to do on this channel, is just to jump in there and have conversations with you guys. So guys, make sure you leave those comments in the comment section below, and then come back on Monday to see if you're the lucky winner. And as always guys, thank you for sharing, and subscribing to our channel. We really appreciate it. It means the world to us. We're really trying to get this off the ground. So you guys, it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend, alright? And thank you for sticking around with me.